Hey guys, so for today's video, we're going to be doing a drugstore full face of first impressions. I'm so excited because I have so many new drugstore goodies that I was like, I need to do a full face first impressions, drugstore only. So that's what we're doing today. So first things first, we're going to start off with primer, and I actually purchased this myself a few weeks ago. This is the Milani Prime Light Face Primer, strobing and pore minimizing. This caught my eye because of course the packaging is so gorgeous. So I just had to grab it and test it out in store, and I swatched it on the back of my hand, and oh my god, it gives you like the most beautiful light filter. Here's how it looks. Really cool. So look how nice of a filter that kind of gave to the skin. It just gives like this really pretty strobing glow, but it's nothing too overly glowy, so I feel like this might be a winner. I also purchased the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, or whatever they call it. I'm really curious to see if I like this one. I have tried this a long time ago and I didn't like it, but I also didn't like the Beauty Blender either at the time, because at the time when I wet it underneath the sink, the Beauty Blender and this one, I wet it for 2 seconds and then tried it, and I ended up hating the Beauty Blender, hating this. And then I ended up trying the Beauty Blender again a few years later and really wetting it underneath the sink and damping it. And you guys know now that I'm like obsessed with the Beauty Blender. So I figured I need to try this one again so I can really see if I like it, because at the time I just didn't use it properly. So I don't have, oh, I also have this spray. This is the Rimmel #Insta Fix and Go 2-in-1 primer and setting spray. I thought this was really cool. I'm always interested to try out drugstore primers and drugstore setting spray. So this says it's a primer and setting spray. So we're gonna try it as both today. Okay, so it really does kind of spritz a little heavier on your face. Like, I'm used to mists that, whew, and it smells a little bit like alcohol, which is the problem that I had, I think, with the Wet n Wild one. I can't remember now, but I'm used to like more of a finer mist. This is like a super soak mist. It's like a mix of cucumber and alcohol, rubbing alcohol, but I'm really hoping that I like how it works, so we'll see. So I don't have a new foundation to try. I know it sucks, but I'm gonna be using this little guy that I love. By the way, this is a MAC pump. It does fit on the Maybelline foundations. Just take it from me, only stand your foundation up. If you lay your foundation down, it doesn't fit perfectly. It like spills at the bottom, so there's just a tip. Let's go ahead and test out the sponge. Okay, and now I see why people like it. Really bouncy. And I do like how you can get into, see how it's like perfectly fitted and rounded for the under eye. The primer underneath, I can tell it's giving me even more of a glow, which is so beautiful. I feel like this primer would be perfect for matte foundations too, to add a little bit of that glow underneath. It's weird because this is as bouncy as the Beauty Blender, but it's a different texture. It's a different type of bounce. Okay, so I do have 2 new drugstore concealing products to test out. One of them is kind of like a little color corrector. Maybelline sent over their Master Camo. Oh, so it's not as yellow as I thought. I thought it was gonna be like as yellow as the packaging, so I was a little bit taken back by that. Oh, I'm gonna like this. I mean, assuming the formula is good, but I like the shade, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Hey. I'm sorry, you guys can tell I'm like in a mood today. I always say I feel so bad for you guys because I am the type of person, like, I'm a Cancer, so I'm so moody. I have a million different personalities. Literally, like, every day of the week, I'm a whole different person. I'm a whole new person, literally. So I always say I feel bad for you guys because every time you watch my videos or open up my Snapchat, you're probably wondering, what Amy am I gonna get today? Well, today is like the I'm a mess / silly Amy. So we're gonna use the other side. I do like how the Beauty Blender tapers a bit more. It's a bit less like rounded and chubby in the center, but it blends beautifully. Okay, it's blending nicely. I definitely feel like it's like brightening in terms of the color. I don't feel like there's like that coverage there. So moving on to concealer, I have a new concealer that, well, new for me. This is the Marcel Flawless Skin Fusion Concealer. I haven't heard anybody talk about this or anything. They sent this over to me. This is in the shade Fair. I feel like if you actually were fair skin, this would be way too dark for you. Because even on me, like I use concealers way lighter than this. But it does have a really nice like yellow, slightly peach undertone, which is nice. This doesn't so far seem like as I'm applying it like it's super full coverage, which, you know, it's a bit of a bummer. I guess we'll see though once I actually blend it out. I feel like I'm gonna need more, so I'm just gonna go in. I do like the applicator a lot. It's similar to the Urban Decay one. Yeah, definitely like a light to medium coverage, but it's a bit like, it doesn't blend the easiest and the most beautifully, you know? Like as I'm blending it, I'm finding it's easy to make these imprints or like have it looking a bit patchy. I love a product that's like effortlessly blended, because blending, as you guys know, takes forever and it takes a lot of like work and technique. So when a product blends beautifully on its own, it just, you know, it's quicker, it's easier, it requires less work, and it's easier to work with, I feel like. Okay, so now I have this Hard Candy Sheer Envy Bake, Brighten, and Set Loose Finishing Powder. This is a really nice, like super pale yellow, so I feel like this is perfect for my under eye. So we're just gonna tap some out and see how this works. You're supposed to bake with, well, I mean, you're not supposed to. I mean, I guess you could do what you wanted. Oh, that's too dark. Oh my God. Wow, that is way too dark. Oh my God. What do I do? Quick survival mode. I'm gonna go in really quickly with my hard candy, with my Wet n Wild powder, and try and see if I can like salvage this. Definitely, if you are deeper skin tone than I am, try this out, because this shade just wasn't too dark for me. Unfortunately, I'm unable to even test the formula because it's just too dark for me. But if you're darker skin, test this out, let me know what you think. So Rimmel also came out with these new contour and highlight sticks. What I really like about these, again, these are the Insta Duo contour sticks. I got the shade medium and dark because I figured dark would work perfect for underneath the eyes, but I know for the face I'll be using medium. But what I love about this is this isn't your typical highlight and contour stick where you have a matte shade on the other end, which I don't really use those matte shades because I just personally prefer to use like my concealer. So I love how this gives you a shimmer cream highlight, because I'm a sucker for a good cream highlight. So I love that this is like a 2-in-1, because for me, when I use my other contour and highlight sticks, I have to always go for a separate cream highlight. So I like how this is already in here, but I do really love the cream highlight in the dark one because it's such a pretty gold. I also love the shape of this. It really goes into like that nice point, so it makes it perfect for the nose. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm actually gonna put this right on the nose, and you see how it's like perfect to go in there? So we'll see how this goes. Okay. You take this hair out of here. Okay. Pretty. I mean, obviously I need to blend it more, but it's a nice color. It's really nice actually. But I feel like that applied and blended really easily. This under eye area is looking crazy, so it's probably throwing you guys off, but this area right here blended really nicely and flawlessly. I'm actually really pleased with it, because I feel like cream contour, it's a hard product to master. At least for me, I can be pretty picky with my cream contour, and I really like this. Actually, what I am going to try is just apply a little bit of the darker shade and just blend that out, just to add a little bit of that extra shadow. I love to do these tapping, bouncing motions because I feel like it doesn't move the product underneath. I feel like if you're rubbing constantly, I tend to get a little bit of patchiness that way because it moves. Ooh, that added some nice extra shadow. So I am going to take the golden highlight from the dark shade and apply that directly. So my camera cut out and I don't know when it stopped recording, but I just applied the golden shade straight to the cheek. And so far it's not really coming up as pigmented as I expected it to be, so I guess I'm just gonna apply a bit more. It's just not as reflective. It's not as like, you know, wet and reflective as I thought it would be. So I actually have a new bronzer to try, and this is from the Master Bronze palette by Maybelline. This is the bronze and highlight kit. I'm just going to be using, I guess they gave you like bronze and contouring shades. For me, I'm only interested in this warm shade right here in the middle, so we're going to go ahead and bronze up with that. The only thing that I don't like about these palettes is when I go to put my brush in, I feel like my brush also dabs into the other shades. So I kind of always have to do this to make sure it doesn't, which I'm not a fan of that. It's like extra work. But we'll see how this blends out. And I'm not pressing too hard because I don't want to move the product underneath. Oh, that's really nice. I feel like that blended nicely. Really nice. And that's a beautiful shade. Like, it's not too cool tone. I'm picky with bronzers too because I don't want it to be too pink or too red or too gray. So I have a new blush to try that I'm really excited for. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush, and it smells so good, and the packaging is so cute. It smells really good. It actually smells like, I think it smells like that Banana Boat, you know, the Banana Boat tanning spray. So good. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. I feel like it gives a really nice, pretty pink cheek. Oh, but too much. I mean, you guys know how I am. I don't like too much blush. So I have a new highlight by Maybelline that I'm so excited to try. This is the Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlight. Mine came broken, so that's why it looks crazy. But I was like, that's not gonna stop me from trying it, okay? So I dusted off all of the brokenness, and I'm still gonna be trying it out. This looks so beautiful. Like, oh my God. Maybelline definitely did it with this one. I'm hoping I like it on the face. Yeah, I had a feeling. I'm like, I'm like, put a little bit on the brush, but I'm like, it's probably gonna look a lot in the face. So blinding. Like, whoa, Maybelline did it with this one. Like, seriously. So I do have this powder. This is a translucent powder from Rimmel. This is the hashtag Insta Fix and Matte Powder. I have a hard time testing translucent powders on camera because I take flash photos. So all my thumbnails that you guys see in my Instagram selfies are taken with flash. So if I test out a new product and like I have a horrible flashback, it's just gonna mess up the entire video. I'm gonna have like super bad flashback in the thumbnail. So I get kind of nervous. I tested this out on my arm a little bit and I took a photo with flash and it only came up a tiny bit. So I guess we'll see how this works. I'm a bit nervous, not gonna lie. I'm only going to be dusting a little bit of powder on because I don't really need that much setting. I kind of like the healthy look that it has right now, but I am going to put a little bit down here. A little bit on the sides. And I think just a tad bit up here. My problem normally with a lot of translucent powders is that they make me look like whiter, like they clearly show that white cast, but this doesn't do that. So we'll see how it works with flash. So I just went ahead and filled in my brows. I didn't have any new brow products, so I just used the NYX brow pencil. Yeah, micro brow pencil in the shade Ash Brown. So to prime the lids, I'm just gonna use a bit of that concealer that I used earlier. Okay, so for the eyes, I don't have like that many drugstore shadows to try, but I did have these two palettes. So I'm not sure what type of look I'm gonna create with these two because I feel like this is like such a mishmash. I definitely am not going to do anything super colorful, but I feel like this is just like darker. I'm not a fan, can I just say. This is the 24 Karat Nudes palette by Maybelline. So I also brought out my favorite drugstore palette, the e.l.f. Mad Fur Matte palette, in case I need some help with these other two shades because I feel like there aren't very many nice transition shades in these two palettes. First thing I am going to do is take this really pretty bronzer shade and just pop that into the crease. So next I am going to dabble into this really pretty mauve shade. I feel like it's gonna turn out super mauvey and purpley, which is really pretty. Well, that blended out really nicely. I'm actually a fan of these True Naked CoverGirl palettes. I just haven't tried this one. This is the Jewels one. But I've tried like the Goldens, the Nudes, really nice quality. Like they're some of my favorite palettes from the drugstore. Like, look at how nicely that just blended out. So I am going to take this really pretty shade from the e.l.f. palette. I'm going to really pop that into the crease just to make sure I really get that definition. I'm gonna take the slightest bit of this really pretty shade right here. It's almost like a brown, but it does have this slight cranberry mauve undertone. And I'm also just going to sneak that right into the crease. And I'm just building it up slowly. So I am going to wet my brush with that same primer setting spray, and we're gonna take this gorgeous rose gold shade. I might also mix a little bit of gold in there. So pretty that that actually applies really nicely. I mean, of course it's wet, but I'm also gonna mix in a little bit of that beautiful gold. I'm gonna take that really pretty mauve shade from the CoverGirl palette and just go in with that underneath the eye. And that shade from the e.l.f. palette, the lighter one. So I'm gonna dabble into this beautiful brown from the Maybelline 24 Karat palette. And I am just going to really press that up against the lashes. So it doesn't seem too pigmented. I'm like pressing it. With these Maybelline palettes, there are a couple shades that I love, like, and they're so pigmented, and then there's a couple of them that just aren't as pigmented. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there, but there are a couple shades that do, you know, that do perform really nicely. And for the inner corner, this isn't drugstore and this isn't a new product or anything, but I think this will look beautiful in the inner corner. This beautiful pink highlight that I absolutely love. It's so beautiful. Like, see how gorgeous that just looks? So I have a new mascara to try out. This is really cool. It's actually very heavy. This is the Rimmel Clump Free Volume Shake It First. So it's super heavy and you're supposed to kind of shake it up first. It feels like you're like shaking a little martini bottle. So I guess the idea of this is that it's supposed to get rid of all the clumps and it's supposed to be clump free. So I guess we'll see. So it seems like it worked because there's not that much clumpage on the actual brush except for right here, which I'll just take off. But other than that, not that much. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this mascara from root to tip and wiggle it. Ooh, for a brush or a mascara that's supposed to be clump free, I'm actually getting a lot of clumps on the first application. They're actually looking a little bit spidery and they're not getting much of a curl either, which I'm not a fan of. They're kind of just spidering out straight ahead. Yeah, I feel like that doesn't do much to my lashes. You guys might not be able to see the clumping because it's only the first coat, but there's like a couple lashes that have already like stuck all together and clumped. So I just popped on some falsies. I didn't have any drugstore ones to try on, so I just popped on some quickly. Now moving on to the lips, I really want to try these new Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquers. These are pretty much like a pigmented gloss. Yeah, like a liquid lipstick that doesn't dry matte. It is kind of creamy, at least I could tell by the swatch, and this is in the shade Tease. I've actually had so many of you guys Snapchat me that I need to try this color, so here it is. I actually went and purchased it and then they sent it to me through PR, so I ended up having 2 of them. But anyways, I'm really excited to try this. There's also their new matte inks, which I'm really excited to try. But I think I'm gonna use this one for today. I also have some new drugstore lip liners I really want to use. I just don't know which shade will go for today, so I'm gonna kind of swatch them quickly on my hand and see which. So I feel like the best match is probably gonna be the Maybelline Shaping Lip Liner in the shade 105 Nude Whisper. It's a really pretty nude pink undertone type of shade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips with that. Oh my god, such a pretty color. Definitely really pale for me, so I'm happy I used the lip liner. So I'm kind of going to focus this on the center and then use the lip liner to really help it look good. And I'm also going to pat it with my finger just to kind of make it a bit softer. So I'm actually going to go in with this lip liner. This is the L'Oreal Color Rich Matte Lip Liner. I feel like the packaging is so beautiful, but this is in the shade 114 Matting Call, and it's definitely, I feel like, a darker version of the lip liner I just used, so I'm just gonna put that on the outer corners and really help to blend this in. And then lastly, I'm actually gonna finish off with the same setting spray again. So that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me play with these new drugstore products and test them out. I feel like there were a lot of products that I really did love and then a lot that were kind of like misses. So I actually feel like this is a good mixture of both. Please don't forget to like, thumbs up this video if you want me to continue doing full face of first impressions. I actually have a couple other drugstore products to try, so I feel like that'll be cool to include in another full face of first impressions. So let me know if you guys want to see more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.